How do you get your first real lawyer job while you're still in law school? The reality is that in the 3 years of law school, there are very few windows of time to actually be able to get a job. And the first one is that summer right after your first year of law school, otherwise known as your 1L summer. And so we're going to walk through exactly what you need to know about landing your 1L summer job so you can absolutely take advantage of that opportunity. And be sure to stick around till the end because I'm going to tell you guys what I did my 1L summer and how that came totally full circle in my legal career. So if you guys are excited to get started and dive in, smash that like button and let's go. The first thing we need to know when we are talking about a 1L summer job is what is the point? What is the strategic purpose of this job? And it might not be what you think. And to be completely blunt, the purpose of your 1L summer job is not to make money. Money is a wonderful side benefit, and if we can get some, we absolutely are going to take steps to do that. But at its core, your 1L job has a different primary purpose, and that purpose is to get legal experience. Plain and simple, that is what its role is. And the beauty of this is that it doesn't actually matter what you do. As long as it's legally related, it doesn't matter what type of law you practice, it doesn't matter what legal organization you work in, and it doesn't matter if you're paid or unpaid. Future legal employers are not going to care. All they want to see is that you have some type of legal experience, you can articulate credibly some kinds of projects that you worked on, and you have some kind of understanding of what a lawyer does day to day. And the reason that this is important is because when you go on to your 2L summer job interviews, the strategic purpose is very different. In your 2L summer job interviews, we are trying to get paid and we are looking for a full-time job after graduation. And in those interviews, 100% without a doubt, they are going to ask you, what did you do your 1L summer? And we want to be able to talk credibly and substantively about what projects we worked on, what we did, and what we learned. Now, another amazing side benefit of the fact that all we want to do is get legal experience 1L summer is that you have more flexibility and opportunity to try different types of law. They don't have to be the types of law that you're thinking of working full-time after law school. They can be things that you're interested in or curious about or have just always wondered about, and that's okay. Legal employers are not going to care or judge the type of law that you practice in that 1L summer job. And so in a low-stakes environment, you can really be more creative and more curious about the experience that you're actually getting. Next up, we need to know, well, what kinds of jobs can you actually get during your 1L summer? And there are several different categories. So the first category is the private sector, meaning these organizations offer a service that clients pay for. And when we talk about the private sector, we're talking about law firms and corporations. Now, traditionally, corporations haven't really hired 1L interns because corporations generally don't hire new lawyers right out of law school to practice. Usually you need 3 to 5 years of experience to be considered a viable candidate to go in-house at a corporation. But lately I've been seeing a lot more law schools partnering with corporations to provide for 1L internship opportunities. So just know that that is an option at some law schools and in some cities. The other one is way better known, right? Working in a law firm. And we'll talk in a second about how to actually go about getting these jobs. But just know that when we're talking about law firm hiring for that 1L summer, it is very limited, especially when compared to your 2L summer. And so when we talk about law firm hiring as 1Ls, there's some very specific avenues and very specific pipelines that you'll need to enter in order to be competitive for these positions. But they tend to be the most sought after because they actually pay money your 1L summer, which most of these internship opportunities won't. The second sector to be aware of is the public sector. And when we're talking about the public sector, we mean jobs on the government side or jobs in public interest will also be included in that bucket. And so this is where most 1Ls will fall because these agencies and these organizations tend to have far fewer resources, they need a lot more help, and they don't pay out of pocket for the interns that they hire during the 1L summer. And so to give you an example of some of the jobs that you might get in one of these sectors, on the government side, we're looking at a local, state, or federal level of the justice system, so municipal courts, state courts, federal courts. You could also work at any one of those levels in an agency, so maybe a local housing agency or a state transportation agency or a federal tax agency. You'll also have judicial internships in this category as well because that also happens at the local, state, or federal level of government. And then in the public interest side of things, that could really be be any nonprofit working with lower income individuals and offering either free legal services or discounted legal services. So think sort of legal aid, and they can handle anything from eviction matters to criminal matters, family matters, immigration matters. And so anything that kind of falls into that public interest bucket will also be in the public sector. The third category of jobs to be aware of that are available to you during your 1L summer are other, I'm going to call them, because they're kind of a mix. And so on the one side, you have jobs that you can get specifically through your law school. Now remember, we do want to get substantive legal experience, so we're not going to prioritize, for example, working in the library, but most law professors do hire research assistants. And so that's absolutely a way to get substantive legal experience while also getting paid. Another option through your law school is to take a clinic. Now, a clinic is unpaid, it is actual course hours, but you are working as a real lawyer with real clients under the supervision of your professor, who's going to be your supervising attorney. So that's another great way to get legal experience if you're not finding an internship somewhere else. On the other side, we have a lot of one-off sort of pro bono projects. And so a lot of these sort of clinics around town organized by local bar associations will have 1 day, 3 day, 1 week clinics where you can go and help somebody draft a will. You can go and help somebody with a family matter like divorce. They have immigration clinics. They have housing eviction clinics. So there are always opportunities to get real legal substantive work, even if you're not having luck in identifying sort of a formal 1L internship. So don't ever get discouraged if you are finding yourself needing something a little bit more resourceful, a little bit more creative to get that actual experience. Now, before we move on, I know some of you guys actually have interviews coming up. So if that is you, then definitely grab the free best questions to ask in Law Firm Interviews Guide. It is word for word the most amazing questions that I have asked in law firm interviews to make the conversation really compelling and engaging with that interviewer and really wow them in the room. So I'll leave that link in the description below so you guys can grab it. Now that we know what 1L summer jobs are hypothetically available, how do we actually go about finding these things to apply to? And there are 5 main ways to look these things up. The first one, and without a doubt the most comprehensive, is your law school's job board. And every single law school will have a list of all of the different legal employers in the area who have reached out to that specific law school to ask for 1L interns. And so by far, this is the most direct way to find a job because these employers have already said, 1, that they're looking for 1Ls, and 2, that they're looking for 1Ls from your law school. The second place to look is in your own career services office, and specifically looking for a list of the public interest organizations and the judicial internships that the law school has available for its students, because career services offices cultivate these relationships with judges, with organizations in the area. And this is where, again, most of us will fall. And the great thing about these positions is that a lot of law schools will actually give public interest stipends to students who work in public interest and judicial internships as a way to give back to the community. So that can be anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 for some of these internships, which is a great way to also make a little bit of money your 1L summer. The third thing to be aware of are diversity pipeline programs. And this is a really important avenue to explore because when we talk about law firms that hire 1Ls and corporations that hire 1Ls, almost exclusively they hire through these diversity pipeline programs. And so you want to be asking your career services office about local diversity programs, regional diversity programs, and national diversity programs. And I'll link the biggest one in the description below, LCLD. But this is a really great way to get access to those organizations, law firms and corporations that don't historically hire 1Ls and only give those opportunities, or mostly give those opportunities, to diversity candidates. The fourth place to go to look for these 1L summer jobs is your local bar association. Now, all states have a bar association, meaning the Texas Bar Association, for example. But if you're in a major city, you should also have a city bar association. So the Dallas Bar Association, for example. And if you look into that, almost universally, they will have internship programs for public interest internships and judicial internship programs. So definitely give that a look because there are a lot of opportunities sort of hidden in these organizations that you might not be aware of and that your law school might not actually have on its job board. The fifth place to go to find these 1L job opportunities is totally old school, and it's pounding the pavement, meaning cold reach outs and informational interviews. And I know it can be really scary if you find yourself in this place in this category where all the other avenues haven't worked for you. But I guarantee you that cultivating these skills and forcing yourself to kind of go through a boot camp of networking like this will not only help you find a 1L summer internship, but will serve you for years to come. So if you find yourself in this place, really celebrate it, because you're going to become an amazing networker and really jumpstart your professional community. So now that we know what the purpose of our 1L summer job is, what jobs are available, and how to actually find those positions, I wanted to share with you guys what I did my 1L summer. And so my 1L summer of law school, I split between two places. The first place was the Human Rights Initiative of North Dallas, and the second place was the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. And in the first internship that I did for 6 weeks, we worked primarily in immigration law and specifically helping asylees apply for asylum. And in the second internship that I spent 6 weeks at, we were starting off in misdemeanors, so things like drunk driving and petty theft. And then about halfway through, I moved up to the felony division and actually got to sit through an entire trial with the prosecutors on a felony murder charge. And so both of these internships were crazy amazing and really opened my eyes to these types of law that I had only ever heard of before, right, or seen on TV, but I didn't really understand the intricacies of what was involved or what the day-to-day looked like. So that was really, really neat to be able to get sort of a window into human rights law and criminal law. And in full transparency, I will tell you guys that I did apply to the law firms that came to campus through the 1L on-campus interviewing process, and I didn't get any of those positions. Now, at the time, there wasn't really a diversity pipeline program, and the global financial crisis had just happened, so you really needed to be kind of in the top 5, top 3% of the class to even be competitive for those positions, which I was not. But the cool thing was, just to kind of reiterate my point from before, that even if your goal is to work in a corporation or work in a law firm full-time upon graduation, they don't care what it is you do your first summer. You can work in any type of law, you can work for any type of organization. All you need to do is to be able to articulate a couple of the projects you worked on, a little bit about the type of law, so that you can have a substantive answer ready for your 2L summer job interviews. So just wanted to kind of reiterate that point, and hopefully it helps you guys feel a little bit more grounded, takes the pressure off a little bit so that you don't have to know what type of law you want to practice or what you want to do your 1L summer. We're just going out there and getting some kind of substantive legal experience. All right, guys, so if you're actually headed into an interview soon, which is so incredibly exciting, definitely check out this playlist of the most popular questions that law firms will ask in interviews, so you know exactly how to answer them and you can totally wow them in the room. So with that, I hope this was helpful, guys. Let me know how your interviews go, and best of luck in your 1L summer job search. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.